The air around here is so fresh. Want to know why? You see all this plant and greenery? Yes, they absorb carbon dioxide, bad air, and then they bring out oxygen, clean air that human beings need to survive. Now, what happens when you cut down these trees? Hello and welcome to Mother Earth. My name is Success Kaminis. Today, we'll be talking about the loss of rainforests in Africa. Stay with me. Welcome back. This is Mother Earth and we are here at Lufasi Park. I love how fresh this place smells, and today with me is the environmentalist extraordinaire, multi-award winning environmentalist. His name is Desmond Majekodunmi. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very, very much. But guess what? I'm no longer an environmentalist.
Ooh. Okay, pay attention now.
I have become an environmental activist.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I've dedicated my whole life now. Everything about my life, from my waking moment to my sleeping moment, is dedicated towards persuading us to care for the miracle of creation, otherwise known as Mother Nature.
Okay, that's why the show is called Mother Earth.
Ah.
So the first thing I want to ask is how this love for the environment came about.
It's always been there from a young guy. I've always liked animals, always enjoyed climbing trees, especially if that tree has some fruit on it. You climb a tree, you get a cashew. It's very, very nice. Not to mention mango and so on and so forth. You know, but it was actually when I spent 3 years in Kenya, many years ago. And I saw that the Kenyans were totally tuned into their nature. Farming is the biggest industry in Kenya, and the second biggest industry is ecotourism. And I was there for 3 years. And at that time, Nigeria, the giant farmer of Africa, you know, Nigeria was the giant agricultural nation of Africa, had abandoned the land because of the oil. You know, the oil was there, oil money was there. Oh yeah, oil boom. And in fact, one of our heads of state said, well, our problem is not how much money we have, our problem is what to do with the money, you know. So, and when I saw the Kenyans really into their land and eating fantastic good food from what they call their shamba, Swahili shamba, I said, when I get back to Nigeria, I'm going to become a farmer. So there I was, electromagnetic producer, music producer and so on, worked with a lot of top musicians. I came back and said, okay, farming is it. And we found this stretch of land in Lekki, and I started an oil palm plantation here after doing a crash course at the International Institute for Tropical Agriculture, which also piqued my interest. Oh, the crash course was continuous. It went on for about 2 years because I knew very little, but the beautiful thing about the IITA is you read a book, you'll walk out and you'll see the professor that wrote the book, and you come down to your level. So I was able to learn a lot. One of the things they told me, said, Lagos soil, be careful, ensure that you do agroforestry. Don't cut all the trees, do it natural, don't bring too much machinery. And so when we got this land in Lekki, that's exactly what we did. It had a whole bunch of trees and stuff. And as a result of that, a lot of the birds and a lot of the animals were still here. And we did agroforestry with our oil palm plantation, which was fantastic. By the way, the trees here are called tenera, and this tenera trees, oil palm, it was developed in Benin at the Institute for Oil Palm Research. It's a cross between the Pusifera and the Dura, which was developed in Benin. It gives a high yield. Most of the palm oil that we have now comes from the tenera palm tree. But even the Malaysians, Indonesians, they went there and they got the seed. And then we started importing palm oil from them.
And
And anyway, that's what, that's what inspired me.
Don't feel so bad.
Yeah, no, it inspired me. It inspired me.
It has. I feel it is what it is.
Yes.
And we can only move forward from here.
Exactly, and that's why I said I'm going to do a farm. And my people said, you want to farm? You guys, blah, 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 blah.
It's not very fancy.
Yeah, it's not very cool.
An engineer.
It's not very cool.
Farmer.
Engineer to farmer. Yeah. But I was also a musician. My late wife was an incredible singer, so it kind of like blended. And she was such a good singer, she wouldn't let me sing, and I was actually the rapper in the band. So we made some songs about nature. In fact, the first album we made was called Green Leaves.
I should listen to them sometime.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about how these plants, how the rainforest contributes to our ecosystem.
Yes, well, when I first started the farm, I didn't actually know much about that until I got to meet some people who really understood it, like the Duke of Edinburgh, who was the president of the Worldwide Fund for Nature, which was also an organization that was involved in an organization here called the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. So when I met him, he had actually said this statement. He said, we do not own this earth, we hold it in trust for our children, to whom we must return it. And I thought, wow, this is really something. It's true, it's true. So I started sort of thinking and getting into the consciousness of, we're holding it in trust for our children. And then people in those organizations, Worldwide Fund, NCF, they also have been doing years and years of research. And by that time, over 35 years ago, they had already started getting very worried about that exact thing that you're talking about what was happening to the forest. Deforestation was worrying them very much over 35 years ago, because the technology was enough to tell them that forests are essential. Forests are the lungs of the earth, okay? The lungs of the earth. And if you don't believe me that we need to have lungs to give us our oxygen, hold your breath for 5 minutes. And when you faint, the only reason that it will make you wake up is because the forests are giving oxygen for you to wake up. Abi? But not only are they the lungs of the earth, forests are transmitters of rain. Yes!
Wait, hold on. let's just take it real slow from here. So let's talk about the effect of power plants and other industries on the rainforest. What have these power plant companies done that have contributed greatly to the problem we are facing now in our rainforests?
We humans have embraced far too much what I call the fruits of the flesh. And we've been driven by sense gratification. We've been driven by the need to get ahead, the need to have status symbols, the need to have more money. And the scriptures tell us very clearly that the love of money is the root of all evil. Money answers all things. Money is good. But if you worship the money, instead of worshiping the God who puts the money there for you, you will find that you're walking into all kinds of evil things. And believe you me, the energy systems that we are using and that we have used for decades and decades and decades can be described only as actions of evil. Can you lock yourself up in a room with a generator? Why not?
Because it emits
deadly gases and it's going to kill you. Okay, now COVID has killed, tragically, a couple of million people. Air pollution has killed 3 times more people than COVID in 2020 alone. And in 2019, the same thing. 2018, 2017, 2016, air pollution has killed 3 times more people than COVID. Because burning fossil fuel emits poison. But it's worse than that. Not only is it poisonous to mammalian life, it is upsetting the very balance of nature that keeps our atmosphere in such a way that it is life-supporting. Exactly, whereas the forests are the one thing that can actually clean up that pollution. And this is why we have Lufasi here, to clean up the pollution, to clean up the air, to sequester all that carbon dioxide that's causing the problems, okay? And we have been destroying the forest unnecessarily, simply because money is more important than the forest. Money is more important than people's health.
Okay, so what are the solutions? Say we need these trees to build houses. We need to clear them off to have a space to build shelter for ourselves. So yes, cutting down trees and burning of rainforests is not just done because we can do it. We need this raw material. So if we are not using these raw materials, what other alternative do we have?
It's going to be a difficult reality to dawn into the consciousness of a lot of people. But what has actually happened is that Mother Nature has been given license to effect retribution upon humanity, because we've been destroying her systems, going in there, committing almost like acts of terrorism, tearing down trees, not living in harmony with her, abusing our gift, the spirit of witty invention, not living in harmony with nature, thinking, oh, I have dominion, I can do anything. No. Look, if you slap your mama, she's going to slap you back.
She's going to more than slap you back.
Oh, and in 2020, that's what she did. But 2020 was just a small slap, just pagam to the whole humanity. And we had been warned many years before that if we continue doing what we're doing to nature, we're going to release zoonotic pandemics, boom. And that's exactly what happened. But if we don't learn and have a renewal of our minds and start living in harmony with nature, start respecting nature, start respecting the wonderful creation which is so wonderfully manifested by the forest, okay, and following scripture, because it is right there in scripture. We are caretakers of creation. It is in every scripture, from the Holy Bible to the Holy Quran, to the Bhagavad Gita, to the Jewish Sutras. It's all there. It's all there. That we are the caretakers, not the destroyers. So that's what we were put there to do. And we better start learning to do that very quickly, because the law of retribution is an inviolable law.
I didn't even know anything like sustainable use of wood or sustainable use of raw materials existed until today. So there is a way to use these natural resources responsibly and sustainably. Okay, so real quick here, what environmental policies should be put in place to stop the predatory exploitation of rainforests? Now, first tell me the environmental policies that are in existence, and then the ones you feel should be put in place to make sure that predatory exploitation of these rainforests stop.
Well, the very first thing is that the awareness has to start, because every action starts in the mind. And the awareness of what? The awareness of the reality of the importance of the forests and the trees. Because the scientists now have been able to tell us categorically, okay, without any trace of doubt at all, that this path that we are taking with this massive pollution that is creating what it is creating in the climate, it is leading us to a very catastrophic conclusion. And the only hope, apart from the logical thing of stopping the pollution, is massive reforestation. Massive reforestation. Our forests have to be protected with every ounce of breath that we have. Because if we don't protect the forest with every ounce of breath that we have, eventually we will have no breath to breathe. And this has to be done. And it's not just me saying, because I don't have the requisite knowledge. I'm relying on the knowledge that comes from powerful scientific organizations under the auspices of the United Nations, the World Meteorological Organization. They are panicking. They're saying, we've caused too much damage. And the only hope is restoring the forest. Billions and billions of trees have to be restored and regrown. So the forests have to be protected with everything they have.
So I want us to talk about the fancy right now. Let's talk about the work you are doing here and how extensively it has helped this environment. I mean, the air here is so fresh. Trust me, I'm coming from the other side of Lagos. I came from the other side of Lagos to this place, and when I stepped in, I knew that I felt the difference. I breathed the difference. So just tell us everything that you've been working on here. You probably will not be able to, but just give it to me as much as you can.
Well, Lufasi is, as I said, it's just a farm, but it's agroforestry, so original forests are there. We have some endangered species like the hooded vulture. Oh yes.
Is that here?
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
But it's critically endangered, so we're about to wipe it into extinction. And if we like COVID, if we really love pandemics, then all we have to do is just wipe out the vultures, and then we'll know what real pandemic is. I'm telling you.
We don't like COVID.
Then we better
Understand
exactly. Then
don't
we better preserve the vulture, and it is here as a symbol to let people know that we're supposed to be caring for creation. Children come here. We have a petting zoo. We have goats. We have a few monkeys. They connect with nature, and they start realizing that nature is a beautiful, wonderful force. And anybody else that comes here, that's our purpose, to just get ourselves to reconnect with the miracle of creation that was bestowed upon us by a loving God that gave us the duty to care for His creation. So that's why we call ourselves creation carers, and that's why our motto is loving nature. So we're loving nature here, and at the same time we're trying to have a loving nature, which sometimes is a bit difficult when you see people come and throw plastic and throw bottle and throw this kind of thing, and it's difficult to have a loving nature to those people, but we try our best.
I don't think we can exhaust all the information this man has to give to us. He was talking about one tree before the interview started that he planted over 35 years ago, and so you know that no be today, as Nigerians will say. So this man has been doing it for a long time, and it takes only passion to do it. You can do it as well. Be socially responsible. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show. I'm sure to revisit this place rather. Will I be welcome?
More than welcome. Peace and love. We're always expressing love for the Creator and by default for His creation here at Lufasi Park.
Okay, very good. And so we come to the end of this fantastic episode. I hope you picked one or two things. I'm sure you did. When it concerns nature and how to create awareness and how to take care of nature, how to love Mother Nature, Mother Earth has you covered. Make sure to interact with us on all our social media platforms at iBrandTV. My name is Success Caminus, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.